I feel bad because like I don't know these actors, I don't know these characters' names and actors' names nearly as well as I can rattle off like Michael Dorn, Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Maria Nacerda.
We grew up watching these things, of course, man. Of course.
Will Wheaton. I had such a crush on Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
I had such a crush on Will Wheaton.
Welcome to GVSV.
Welcome back to GVSV. This is Alex and Carl, and in today's podcast, we are going we're going to revisit a franchise from our youth, which has obviously
It's still putting out,
and I think is something that has influenced many great things, not just in our lives, but so many other people's.
I'm talking about social importance.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
Pioneering some things that when the original series came out,
Yeah,
nobody was doing.
of course not.
You know?
I mean, yes.
Like
Okay, well,
we could get into that.
no, but so what we're going to go over today, I mean, if the
Shirt says anything.
if the t-shirt doesn't say anything, Star Trek. What was your first introduction to?
The original series.
Yes.
Blame my father for that one.
Well, no. So to this day, I can visibly recall my dad's favorite episode to this day is The Last Battlefield,
Okay.
where the alien species that they came across, half of them were like black on one side and then black on the other. And
Okay.
it wasn't until halfway through the episode when all of a sudden they come to the realization it's like, oh wait, you guys don't get along because you're black on the opposite half of your face? Like, and the crew of the Enterprise, they're sitting there and they're like, what?
I mean, I don't know my father's favorite original series episode.
I just remember because every time it would come on, he'd be like, it's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the only.
You know, I've rewatched the original series like twice.
I honestly think there are probably episodes within TOS that I've never seen.
I mean, so
Because the thing is that like the only time that I did watch it growing up, because it wasn't on,
yeah,
but like every time there was some sort of like holiday, whether it
Yeah.
was like 4th of July or Mother's Day or God knows what, my dad would just like park himself on the couch and just like watch the marathon. And it
Yeah.
was always WPIX. It was like WPIX, and they were like, Star Trek Marathon, binge to your heart's content.
yeah, for real. I mean, the original series was like a pioneer
Oh yeah.
in I think TV storytelling
Yeah.
and social issues.
Yes.
Right, and when you think about the world that Gene Roddenberry created, right, it was this petri dish where he could really push his idea of what a utopian society would be like. And even though it was quasi-utopian, all this strife and issues and whatnot, because of the other species and whatnot, but he could use that to comment
Yes, and
on society as a whole.
and comment on very topical issues of the day.
Yeah, without outright saying it. I mean, the first interracial kiss on TV
Yes.
is huge.
No, obviously, and I mean, yeah, no, there were many like Star Trek introduced us to many firsts,
Yeah,
many firsts.
like I mean, I don't know, right? But Zulu, George Takei,
Yeah.
right? Was there a more visible gay man at that point in time on TV?
But at the time, closeted gay man.
Yeah,
And here's the thing, like I mean, you can't blame him.
Of course not.
Simply for the fact that like
it's the fucking 60s, 70s, man.
it was the 60s and 70s, because up until 1973, still considered mental illness. You could be hospitalized for just being gay.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, I know that there are many aspects within our culture today that will rant that Hollywood is so like liberal, but let me finish.
Okay.
For the longest time, there were many aspects of it that were just flat out anti-gay.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, if you were found out, that was the end of your career.
Yeah.
And, you know, people were being forced to keep up these pretenses of like, oh, hey, you know, you're an attractive young man and we need you to date these women because if you don't, we will end your career.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care who you sleep with, what you want, whatever.
Of course.
When the cameras turn on, like, when you're out in public,
but that's not a comment of conservatism versus liberal. That was a commentary of just society writ large at the time.
Exactly.
You know, the comment that, you know, people rant because Hollywood is liberal. Full stop. Anyway, back to Star Trek.
What?
I told you we're not getting to that.
I didn't.
I told you we're not getting to that.
But I'm just from the aspect of, yeah, George Takei is George Takei, rhymes with gay. Yes. I saw that. You know, obviously a gay man. I mean, now obviously a gay man. And, you know, for him to feel comfortable with himself, to be out and public, you know, later on in his life, and for that to retroactively reflect on his career and everything that he's done, to the point that the reboot series effectively J.J. Abrams' Star Trek effectively canonically made now Sulu gay.
Yes. Zachary Quinto, right?
Zachary Quinto played Spock.
Oh, Spock.
Sorry. No, it's fine. That's fine. Zachary Quinto being the cast member in modern Star Trek who is openly gay.
But phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal.
I love Zachary.
When they came out, see, folks, this is what we geek out about.
No, but like even before the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies came out, like I loved Zachary Quinto in Heroes. Like
I've never seen that.
He was actually the antagonist for all of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But like great actor, loved him. And then my husband, because of the job that he has and all of the celebrities that he gets to meet in New York City, got to meet not just Zachary Quinto, but like Matt Bomer, Ben Parsons, like all of these like
people that I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you know Zachary Quinto.
I know that,
but the thing is that
I'm a
like
Star Trek nerd.
we both are.
I'm gonna go on record. And y'all gonna hate me for this. Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it right now. Hate me, fight me. Anyway,
not.
But
Listen,
I mean,
like,
we're skipping all over the place here.
No, because you're the one that opened up that can of worms.
Yes.
So, I grew up on Star Trek because of my father.
Okay.
Right? And we weren't a Star Wars household at all growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I leave home and join the military and get on with my life.
Yeah.
And I did not watch. Oh, okay. In the late 90s, I watched the sequel Star Wars movies because they came out in theaters and it was just a big like, oh look, it's finally back in theaters, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Like I watched those,
and
then for some odd reason saw whatever. That's a tangent off the rails, but did not really watch any of the original Star Wars movies until I met my husband.
Oh wow!
Because like. He told me, like, you know, you're dating someone, you're getting to know them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan. Fan, little f. So then, like, I was like, oh, well, you know, he really likes this. So I guess I should, like, invest some time in getting to know it. And then, like, my depth of knowledge of Star Wars like quickly like leapfrogged his, where all of a sudden I was like, oh yes, but like in the Clone Wars like cartoon series and like this and that and like, and he's sitting there and he's like, what? like I'm a fan. I was like, are you
really?
Are you really?
but back to the better IP of Star Trek. All right.
Listen,
So
I'm a multi-shipper. Launch all the ships.
I want the Defiant.
Really?
Yeah, I love that fucking ship, dude.
It's cute. It's a cute little ship.
It's a fucking ship made for fucking battle.
I mean, so was the NCC 1701E.
Those Galaxy class starships.
No, D was Galaxy, but E was Sovereign.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, right? The Enterprise was built as a ship of exploration.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the Defiant was the Federation's first purpose-built warship. Okay.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
All right. So that little fucker could kick some ass.
It did.
And who was the first commander of that?
Cisco?
Worf, I think.
Was it?
Was it Worf? No.
I just assumed it was Cisco because it was DS9. Okay, so like I did watch. Okay, so let's go back to like. So like, I remember 1987 when Encounter at Farpoint like premiered.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, really,
we were
good TV, man.
No, but the thing is, like, we were 7 years old.
Yeah.
And it was just like I could feel the excitement in the house because my dad was like, new Star Trek, new Star Trek, new Star Trek. And then like we sat there as a family and
you were introduced to two of my all-time favorite Star Trek characters.
Beardless Jonathan Frakes.
No.
Beardless Jonathan Frakes. And Will Wheaton. I had such a crush on those two guys.
Fucking Q. I love Q.
John DeLance
is fucking
John DeLance
fantastic.
Was so great. Even
my favorite episode, Deja Q.
Yes.
Oh, I could watch that on repeat all fucking day.
Yes.
Never gets old.
Listen,
I'm me again. I'm omnipotent again.
I did enjoy Voyager, but like when they brought Q, like John DeLance back.
Oh my God.
I sat there, I was like,
yes. Right? I love that character.
Yes.
I love that character.
Yes.
All right. And at
what
first.
Is it about him though? I just like, I know he's omnipotent, but like I think it's just the actor. I think
it's John DeLance, right?
Yes.
It's his acting. He
embodies that role.
Right? You have this omnipotent character who's a bit of a fucking goof, right? That like when you were a kid, you were burning ants and shit. You could relate to that,
yes.
Right? Because you poke and prod shit,
yes.
And sometimes it blows up in your face.
That's his character,
right? 100%, right? But he has this fascination with humanity,
yes,
right? So I love that fucking character, all right. And I remember, first watching The Next Generation, the Farpoint stuff. I don't know that there's TV that I enjoy more than a Star Trek series.
Encounter at Farpoint was the first Star Trek media that I like independently purchased, and on VHS.
Okay. Like I have Paramount Plus just for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Just for Star Trek.
Yeah. Which amazes me because two of the newest shows you have not watched at all.
I don't watch TV.
I know. Which is why we are going to hopefully put it out there and people will, engage with what we watch, and that'll be the series that we finish.
I mean, I love it. I remember as a kid with my father, I'd watch the original series.
Yeah.
Then the other two things we'd watch a lot of, Three Stooges, Godzilla movies.
And Looney Tunes.
Oh, Looney Tunes, yeah. Looney Tunes, Godzilla movies, Three Stooges, and then Westerns.
Yeah.
But what I took away from that is my love of slapstick humor. My love of Looney Tunes. And Star Trek. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the entirety of TNG.
I've gone back for like one-off episodes. Like I'm it's sad because this is my favorite episode, but I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember the title. The one with Data's daughter.
Oh, it's oh God.
Her name was Lol.
Lol.
Like I know
for some reason I want to say it's almost like a Shakespearean title.
Needless.
Nope. We're figuring this out.
It's fine. But so for me, watching that episode and the thing is, like, I think I always gravitated towards the Star Trek, well, I guess in media in general. I think I always gravitated towards characters that were not quite human.
Okay.
And I don't mean like not human as in like
Offspring.
The Offspring. That fucking makes sense.
Season 3, episode 16.
Yeah. That episode made me cry. Like at the very end,
Mm-hmm.
when she starts decompiling.
Yeah.
And it just, like, I was like 13, 14 years old, and I'm watching this, and I just, tears.
Yeah.
No, wait.
No,
season 3?
Yeah.
So that was 90. So I was like 10.
10.
Oh. Yeah, I was 10 years old, and I'm watching it, and I couldn't stop crying, because, like, something about him bringing this life into the world, and then all of a sudden it, like, falling apart before his eyes, and him in a panicked rush to try to, like, save it.
You know, and what's, I think what grabs people, is Data doesn't have emotions.
But the thing is, so I'm reflecting this back to me.
Yeah.
It's not just like non-humanoid characters, but like, I think characters that are almost observing humanity, and like and I'm gonna give like three examples, like Data, 7 of 9,
yep,
and obviously not part of this IP, but Egon Spengler in Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Because just like, and I'm sure in today's society we would probably like read a character like Egon as being autistic.
Sure.
But something about his character, I saw myself in him.
Okay.
Like, it just, something about it just resonated. And then like growing up and then like seeing Data, and like, I'm not an android, but like the way that he felt different and disconnected, and I don't know how much of that comes with, you know, being gay and discovering myself and like feeling like I'm on the outside looking in.
Sure.
Like, and then, you know, once we get all the way up to Voyager, and then we get to Jerry Ryan, and yes, she's beautiful. Beautiful. But the thing is that, like, at that point, it's no longer about like wanting to be human, but almost about like, just like, yeah, fine. Like, she's confident in herself, and it's like, yeah, I am different. Fuck you.
Yeah. But going back to Data real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So here is an android without the ability to feel emotions.
Yes.
Going through the motions, just trying to save his child.
Yeah, of course.
Now, like this fever pitch.
Yes.
And you wonder, like, is the drive to save his daughter a part of the programming to save life? Is it part of the programming that's extrapolating what a human would do? All right. And I think the saddest part of that whole thing is the fact that Lul could feel.
Yeah.
And she was aware that she was dying.
Yeah.
All right. And that he couldn't connect to her that way. Right?
And then I remember she's sitting in 10 forward, and she like used contractions for the first time. And
that's how
I know.
That's how Data knew that she
was different.
Surpassing his programming.
Yeah. And Guinan called him out, and she was like, you don't ever use contractions. Like, she just said.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Oh. I'm starting to tear up now.
right?
Oh,
So I mean, it
it was good. It was so good.
the entire world that Gene Roddenberry made. It's just
Yes.
there's good TV out there, pioneering TV out there, I think. But back then, they brought so many things to light,
Yeah.
and we don't make this, heavy. But you look at Data and his ever quest for understanding and becoming human.
Yeah.
Right? Like when Q made him laugh. That was awesome, right? That was awesome.
Well, of course.
But, I mean, then you have Worf, right? Now, here is a warrior.
Raised by humans?
Yes, adopted.
Okay.
All right? His father was killed during war.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And he, excuse me, he was adopted, all right, by a human family.
Yes.
All right? And here he is, a Klingon warrior who very much believes in his heritage, all right, but also values his adoptive heritage.
Yeah.
And
which is where his current vocation leads him.
Yes. All right, to be the security officer of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
All right, and while parts of him want to embrace the Klingon way, he understands sometimes the human way is the more honorable way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, I'm assuming everybody's seen this, right? But
I mean, I'm assuming if you've clicked on a podcast where two guys are talking about Star Trek, you've got some sort of background.
Right. But you remember the episode where he and his brother are going against Dumas, one of that name.
Like the Duras sisters?
No. The brother.
Okay.
Okay. The son.
Okay.
All right, because they're slandering his father's name.
Yeah.
Okay. And he finds out that the council did that on purpose to save the council's hide. And he had to accept accommodation or discommodation.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is Dumas. I'm fucking it up. Anyway.
It's okay.
All right. And at the end of it, okay, right, and Picard's like his conciliary the entire fucking time through there.
Yeah.
Right. He decides to accept this commendation. All right. And instead of like fighting to the death or some shit like that, he leaves with Picard. All right. And I'm understanding like that's not the Klingon way. Right. And he has this like duality between a Starfleet officer and a Klingon warrior, which I think is a phenomenal storyline in itself.
And I think it's one that, I mean, not just you as a veteran, but you as a veteran Marine can relate to.
I relate to it on several different levels. You and I were speaking about the other day when we were filling out insurance forms at work.
Yeah.
All right. And it's like, I sent this to my wife. It's like, I don't do the whole identity politics thing, but it'd be nice to have a box that said white Hispanic. It's either I put down Hispanic or I put down white, not Hispanic. I'm like, don't fucking have a home. Right. And there are times in Worf's story he doesn't know where the fuck he belongs.
Because it's like,
because
are you Klingon or are you Starfleet?
Dude,
I'm both.
I got that fucking question asked. Are you fucking Boricua or are you Gringo? I'm like, how about fucking both? How about both? Look at my skin. All right, cool. All right. I have ancestry that goes straight to the fucking island. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
I know, but that's the thing though. I mean, like, you are both.
Yeah.
Like literally, like down the line.
Yeah.
Because 50% of my heritage is also Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine.
Yeah, so why I love Worf, and one of the reasons I've liked him is like sometimes he's just like, where the fuck do I belong? And again, this whole thing, all the storytelling with Gene Roddenberry he just touches on these things that nobody was talking about back then. And that was taboo
Yes.
to talk about back then.
Or even have on TV.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, I mean...
Not just TV. Primetime. Primetime. Everybody's
like,
watching.
okay, so... Jumping shows. Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, great show.
Dax.
Ah.
And, here you have, which I don't even think it was intended as like a trans allegory, but here you have an alien race that is transferring its consciousness from one body to another. And now you have a female character who used to be male and is now, and for that reason, their race doesn't want the current iteration of that person to be interacting with people from the previous lives. Or
That's
not intentionally.
But like, no. No. So the way it works with Dax, like, talking about Jadzia Dax.
Yeah.
Ha! Fucking nerds.
As opposed to Ezri.
Right? Exactly. What Ezri comes after.
And then, like, she's still there.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, Jadzia's there. But all the Daxes before them, are their collective experience is what...
Is in the Trill.
It's in the Trill.
Yes.
Exactly.
But the thing is that, like... What? Her wife from a previous iteration comes to the station and...
Or the kids from another iteration. It's
true.
Ridiculous.
No. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was that, like, she ended up having a kiss with her ex-wife. And as far as representation goes, like, for me, in the 90s, anytime there was, like, the hint of the possibility of, like, a same-sex kiss that was gonna happen on TV, like, I don't know. This was, like, early internet days, so I have no idea how I was hearing about these things, but, like, I was clued in.
Really?
And it was like knowing that was happening and anticipating that it was happening and then watching it happen was mind-blowing, because it was like, wow, this is actually there.
Yeah.
And we get to see it because you have many, many other shows on primetime who, not to throw Melrose Place under the bus, but there's this one scene where these two guys are supposed to kiss, and then one of the other tenants in the apartment block, like, sees it from his kitchen window, and I don't even know where the storyline goes from there, but they shot it both ways, but the version that they actually aired was, okay, they're about to kiss, cut away from them, watch the reaction on Andrew Shu's face, okay, now cut back, they've already finished kissing. Like it's understood that they did kiss,
but it's not seen.
But it's not seen.
But I mean, but that's Gene Roddenberry's storytelling. Yeah. It's like I'm going there.
Exactly. And that's I think that's what made it so impactful, was the fact that not just with Jadzia and not just with Kirk and Uhura, but like all of the things that he was willing to discuss and put out there. I mean, skirts on men in TNG season 1? Maybe not. But it was an aspect of TNG that was like, he was like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's do it. Why can't they wear skirts? Like,
why not?
Exactly.
But Highlanders wear skirts, kilts.
Exactly.
I have a fucking kilt.
I know you do.
Come at me. Dare you?
But that was the thing, though. It was like, yeah, you know what? This is 400 years into the future. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
How much do you think the courage to do that, and not so much the original series, all right, but like in Deep Space Nine, all right, that she is a non-human, humanoid, but not human. So that does that fantasy part, okay,
allow them to get away with more.
Exactly. I'm not saying it does.
No. But
That's an interesting perspective, no?
it is, and I'm going to take this conversation off the rails.
That's what we're doing here.
Animated children's TV series Steven Universe. Exactly. That's the face I was expecting. Aliens from outer space,
Okay.
who are effectively living gemstones. But the thing is that the gemstones are actual rocks,
Okay.
and the construct that exists around the rock is almost semi holographic, where
Okay.
like that is the representation of that character.
Okay.
Makes sense in Rebecca Sugar's head, the creator of the show.
Okay.
But the thing is that almost all of these space alien characters, and they're now, there's a handful of them here on Earth, and blah blah blah, story ensues, but almost all of these outer space gem aliens physically manifest and represent as like female bodies.
Okay.
And there's this one aspect of the story where two of these characters are effectively in love and in a relationship with each other, and decide, you know what, we're going to do this human thing that we see the humans doing, and we're going to get married.
Okay.
And this was, oh God, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
And like, I mean, like not forever ago, but long enough ago that it was, when it aired, the first representation of a gay marriage in children's media, period.
Yeah.
And the way that I think they were very smart with how they answered the questions when they were presented to them, as far as like the creators of the show. Every time they were asked about that aspect of the story and their relationship, and just the simple fact that it's like, oh, it's groundbreaking, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, like these gay characters, these lesbians, these whatever. And the creators of the show would always sidestep it every single time, and they'd be like, well, they're not human. They're effectively holographic rocks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not lesbians. They're rocks.
Yeah.
And like that was just their stock answer across the board. Everyone within the creative team, they were just like, every time any like Comic-Con or panel or whatever interview, they were just like, it's like, well, they're not lesbians.
Yeah.
They're rocks. Like, and
But that was like 9 years ago, you're saying?
yeah, but I think that
Deep Space Nine.
that was 30 years ago.
Maybe not 30 years ago, but it was like good 20, 15.
DS9?
DS9.
30 years ago.
No.
Think about it. By the time we met each other, it was already on air.
Was it?
Yeah, because it started halfway through TNG, and
I didn't know.
TNG started in 87.
So, okay. So while I was in high school, I didn't watch a whole lot of TV. I didn't see Deep Space Nine until reruns.
Yeah, but the thing is that for me, TNG, DS9, Voyager, I watched as they aired.
Okay,
and I have not really. When I go back and I rewatch, it's only a handful of episodes here and there.
You need to watch these things full through, dude.
I know. And the thing
You're
is,
missing threads.
Yeah, I am. But the thing is, like, I just keep going back for like specific characters or specific storylines. Or
I get that. I do that too.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I can't tell you how many times I went right back to Deja Q because I love that episode.
exactly.
All right.
I honestly, I do want to watch that now.
It's so fucking good.
But the whole point is
right
yeah,
now, today we know I'm feeling under the weather. When I go home today, I might just lie on the couch and start at freaking Farpoint and just run through TNJ for the rest of the weekend. But so you look at like the timeline and the storytelling of Gene Roddenberry's universe. Like even after he left, they kept going.
Yes.
All right, so you look at Discovery.
Yes.
All right, and then you have openly gay characters, openly gay relationships. And you know what's great about that? Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared because it's Star Trek. It's been doing it for 40 damn years.
I will say,
Discovery's another good show. Damn.
but you haven't finished it, have you?
Dude, no, I haven't.
I know. Oh,
This board drive is fucking fantastic. I love that idea.
it is interesting, but the thing that upsets me from the standpoint of continuity is
Yeah, it's off of continuity, man.
it just because the thing is like, fine, if you wanted to introduce this as technology that took place after the TNG era,
Sure.
knock yourself out.
Yeah.
But then like to say this takes place like in the TOS days,
Yeah, come on, dude.
it like for me that was the part of Discovery that irked me. Now, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like
It didn't dissuade me.
I mean I watched the whole series.
Yeah.
Like Wilson Cruz,
Mhm.
the guy who's playing the doctor,
Okay.
who's in that gay relationship
Mhm.
with the engineer. I feel bad because like I don't know these actors. I don't know these characters' names and actors' names nearly as well as I can rattle off like Michael Dorn, Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Maria Nacerda.
We grew up watching these things, of course, man. Of course.
Will Wheaton. I had such a crush on Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
I had such a crush on Will Wheaton.
You know, it's like when you think about transport technology. Elon, if you're watching, I know you're not. Come on, bud. Transport technology, you need to get on that. Could you imagine?
Scary.
Could you imagine?
Scary.
Could you imagine?
I can, but like, okay, fine.
Yeah, turn
Off
yourself
the-
into a particle beam, all right? That you transfer over space and fucking time to get reassembled somewhere else.
Okay, Dr. McCoy.
That's
you
what
know
it
that
is.
you know that
Yes,
right? You understand
yes,
that.
of course.
But here's the thing. Off the rails. The ship of Theseus.
Okay.
Which one's the real ship? Is it the I'm forgetting Jonathan Frakes' character's name. Is it Will Riker that ended up back on his ship, or is it the Will Riker who got stuck in the pattern buffer and then bounced back to the surface? Which one's the real one?
Yeah.
Because like
You get into a whole different paradox.
no, it's not even because it's not something that's going to like collapse the timeline. It's just, oh wait, you are a scientific abnormality that the system would have otherwise have corrected for because you were just a copy of this pattern. But because of this like ionic storm, you just kind of got bounced back to the surface. So now like there's two of you.
Yeah.
And ship of Theseus, which is the real ship? Is it the ship that you've been on this entire time that has been replaced plank by plank the entire trip? Or is it all of those planks that have been removed and now have been reassembled into another ship?
Mhm.
Wait, but those are all of the original pieces from the first ship. Which is the ship?
That's a good question.
The ship that you've been on this entire time? Or the one that got sent back to the surface of the planet because the pattern buffer didn't realize that, oh, it actually made it through.
Yeah. But could you imagine?
Hey guys, sorry for interrupting this episode. I realized that Carl and I kind of really went off the rails with this one for about an hour and a half. So if I want this episode to actually come out on schedule, I'm splitting it in half. So 40 minutes part 1, 40 minutes part 2. And that way it gives me enough time to edit this Friday's should be Lower Decks episode. So sorry about that, but stick around for next week. Part 2 should come out next Tuesday. If you could help us do all those YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. Carl's not here to ask you to share, but sharing also helps. And join us in this adventure. 1, 2, 3, let's go.